Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of
The Hero Couch.
I'm Oz.
I'm Drew. We've got quite a lot to talk about today. New trailer dropped today. We want to talk about that for sure, as well as a bunch of other stuff from games coming out, comic books we grew up with, and a lot more.
Yeah.
So, do we want to just hop right in?
Yeah, follow us along. I say first off, the Hawkeye trailer came out today.
Dropped just earlier this morning, and it looks incredible.
Yeah, I mean, if we're following any of the other content that Disney Plus has produced recently, I already have my hopes pretty dang high.
I'm so excited for it, dude.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Seeing a bunch of these characters that we haven't gotten a lot of yet, from finally Hawkeye getting his own series, Clint, as well as we're finally seeing Kate Bishop in the MCU.
I feel like this is going to be the proper start and launch point for the new Avengers.
I do too. I'm excited. I'm hoping this does bring out a new Avengers movie or even a show.
Right.
I think that would be really good.
Right. We've got sprinkles of it in the other projects.
Little bits and pieces, yeah.
It's Baby Speed, Baby Wiccan, we got Patriot.
Yep.
And we're getting there. And if they ever go back to Dr. Cho from Age of Ultron, her son being Amadeus Cho.
Oh, yeah!
We've got a lot laid out as a foundation. We just need to gather it all up and put it together.
I'm so excited for it. There was a lot in that trailer, though, that if you watch it once, you might miss.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
One thing that I'm speculating on is we see Clint with an earpiece. I really think that might be a hearing aid, because in the comics, Clint Barton is deaf.
Yeah.
There's this moment in the comics I love where him and Daredevil are fighting, and Daredevil actually will pull up his mask above his mouth so Clint can read his lips, because Clint is deaf, of course, as we already stated. But he has an earpiece, and I really think that could be a hearing aid. We see a little bit on both sides at times, for the most part in the left ear. On top of that, sticking with props,
Besides the empty Molotov cocktail bottle.
Yes, okay. If you go back and watch that trailer, a guy throws a Molotov up towards Clint, and he grabs it and throws it back, but if you pause it right before it's thrown and he's holding it out, the bottle is empty and it's just got a flaming rope sticking out of it.
Yeah, you know.
And it's a close-up.
Lighting a rag on fire with a glass bottle is totally a major weapon that you can use to hurt people.
Well, I mean, it would still hurt if you hit someone with that, though.
Right.
But, like...
I don't know what you think that's gonna do to an Avenger.
As well as I want to say it's halfway through the trailer, Kate launches an arrow attached to a rope, and on it is a tennis ball.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see Kate with a lot of homemade, gadgety arrows. Hawkeye inspired, but things you could find in, like, a garage and stuff.
And it's probably what that scene is leading to that they're talking about. Like, there's a more dangerous arrow?
Exactly! Like, yeah. I want to know what that more dangerous arrow is.
Right,
I want to know what's in it.
The face he made, too?
It's just like
It's probably hiding an infinity zone in that arrow.
Oh my god, it could be... That absolutely just killed me.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real learn to swing moment from Spider-Verse. You know,
yeah.
with the web shooter.
Speaking of some really funny things, Rogers the Musical.
Yes. Yeah. I never thought I'd see someone wearing like a ripped up like cardigan and a t-shirt and a helmet to be Thor.
I know, right? But it actually looks really good. Loki with his top hat.
Yep. If
you look on top, the Iron Man, well, he's got the armor on his arms and the glasses, but he's wearing a suit and a Captain America t-shirt. It's got the shield and everything right there on his chest.
Tony Stark, I heard, was a huge Captain fan.
Apparently so. But it looks amazing. So funny. It's gonna be funny seeing Clint react to himself on a stage, because Hawkeye's in the show as a character.
Absolutely.
And I just wonder.
I can't imagine the banter.
I wonder if these are variants. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, that's after the timeline fractured. They needed a reimplication into society program. So these group of variants, they decided to form together a theater arts group.
I'm hoping it's gonna be like Ragnarok, the where it's the play of Dark World. Like,
and we have those leaked photos of Melissa McCarthy playing Hela in their play version. And they're doing another play in the next movie.
What? What? I didn't know about this.
Yeah, Melissa McCarthy is Hela, and then Thor and Loki are back, in the play. And it looks, I mean, obviously we don't know what's going to happen, but Melissa McCarthy is pretty damn funny, so it's going to be great. And we're going to have one of those movies with the Avengers, like, unbeatable. And the Chitauri on stage,
Yeah, the Chitauri suits on stage, throwback to the original incident.
Yeah. New York.
Yeah. It hits a special place in my heart rewatching watching Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching season 3 finally, as you know.
Yep.
Seeing the newspaper clippings, for example, of the invasion.
Yeah.
So I still feel very connected to the Chitauri in that first Avengers movie in that sense.
That was one of, what was his name? The original reporter that Karen learned under.
Yeah, Ben Urich.
Ben Urich.
Yep.
Yeah. He wrote
worked on that.
The new, he was the one that broke the headline in that canon.
Yeah.
So that's pretty dang cool.
What are there any other characters though? We're getting off topic with Daredevil. Are there any characters, related to Hawkeye that you want to see, or you're seeing and you're excited to see their portrayal?
Not particularly. What we have got bits and morsels from has been pretty dang exciting. I was really excited when they said that Ronan was going to be in Endgame. Mm-hmm. So getting to see Clint as Ronan again is pretty exciting.
It's not. We don't know if Clint's going to be in the suit at all, but we do know for certain that Kate Bishop will be in the Ronan suit.
Yeah, the only reason I assume that is because of the Black Widow.
True, we'll probably see some flashbacks to when he was Ronan, but we didn't see any of that in the trailer, which was a little weird. Outside of the one shot of him taking the sword and wiping it off.
Right. Yeah, the flashback shot.
Yeah, the flashback shot. So, outside of that, I don't know if we will see him in Ronan at all, but I'm crossing my fingers. I love that costume with all my heart.
We have to tell our loyal audience on our first episode who will be in the Ronan suit.
Oh, yeah, Kate Bishop. We just mentioned that a second ago. Seeing her in the Ronan suit was strange, but really cool. We see her with a different sword than what Clint was using, so this might be just a completely new costume.
She probably, made it from scratch. That suit was a pretty baggy outfit on Clint, and she's a little smaller. But getting to see that's how she's introduced to Clint is shown to us in this first trailer is really cool.
It's gonna set a really weird dynamic, but one that I'm all here for.
Right. Like, he's just trying to clear up his sins, and here comes this girl. Yeah, I was pretty reserved after my first watch of the trailer, just because Haley Steinfeld kind of felt like she was leaning more into her previous roles, like how she was in Bumblebee, just like a oh wow, no way type of character.
Yeah.
I think the more I've paid attention to the trailer, the more excited I've gotten for it.
I'm really excited. Speaking of that mentor and apprentice kind of dynamic, we're getting swordsman.
Yeah.
Hawkeye. Hawkeye's mentor, Jack Duquesne. Duquesne. Yeah.
Jacques.
And the actor they cast for it, Tony Dalton, is like the mirror image.
They sold me with the mustache.
The mustache is what got me too. That's what got me for it. But I'm excited to see his MCU appearance. We have nothing on what he looks like in this show yet.
I feel like we've lost our sense of villains, our only real remaining villain was Loki, who's got his redemption arc. Yeah. And it's like, well, we had Thanos. Thanos is done. Ultron is done. Obviously, Obadiah Stane with Flash. We've ran through so many heroes. Yeah. And even Abomination is getting a redemption here. Holy fuck.
And if you want to count Trevor, if you want to count Trevor in that.
Some call him a terrorist. Some call him a Chinese mystic arts expert.
I'm so happy he came back in Shang-Chi.
I needed it. It fulfilled me.
I don't know if Jack Duquesne is going to be necessarily a villain. I could definitely see them going that route. He has been a villain on like a lot of occasions, but he's also been part of the Avengers in a lot of cases.
Right. Wasn't he didn't he join technically before
He joined
Hawkeye?
I think it was after Hawkeye. I might be wrong on that. I don't know his introduction that well to the Avengers, but I do know.
I've held the comic, but I didn't buy it, nor did I know anything about it.
Damn. Yeah, for the most part, outside of him being a circus performer and seeing him work with the Avengers, I haven't seen much else of him. But I'm excited to see what they do with him, and this has got me wanting to read more about him.
Absolutely. I mean, all I've read of Kate Bishop is the West Coast Avengers, and that's narrow for how long she's been a character now.
Right, she's been around for a decent little bit now. It's shocking that she hasn't made an MCU appearance yet.
Yeah.
Even like a cameo. Like, that shocked me.
They definitely wanted to do the classics, the tried and true classics that they could and what they think would score well, but
yeah,
absolutely, it's due time, and I'm so glad they're taking the full leap with, I mean, all of the ones we mentioned before, and we have even like, what's her name, not Adam, Hank
Hope.
Paul Rudd, Hope. And Scott's daughter, and like Tony's daughter, like they're going all out, and the kid.
You're talking about Scott's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't remember her name for the life of me.
Hope and Scott's daughter.
Did they have they didn't have a kid.
Oh no.
Not in the MCU.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's Cassie.
Cassie.
Daughter.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's the name. Yep. I'm skipping my mind there
Cassie
for a second.
I had to connect all the dots to get that last one.
It took a while, but we got there eventually.
Right.
You know who I'm excited to see back? Yelena.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of obvious with the last scene we've seen her in. It basically tells us, you guys are gonna get this. So I'm hoping so. I mean, they've teased stuff pretty extreme like that before, so...
That's set up to connect it to Hawkeye.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
It's got it, yeah.
I think Florence, she absolutely rocked it in Black Widow.
Right, and in Black
probably
Widow,
one of my favorite parts of the movie was her performance.
Yeah, absolute show stealer. Yeah, and in Black Widow, all the way through, she's wearing the snowsuit.
Yeah.
You know when Hawkeye comes out?
Yeah.
Christmas season.
Oh, she'll still probably be wearing the snowsuit then. I'm hoping it's modified from them though, or a completely different suit would be.
I feel like this will be their bridge. Like this will be her first like dip into a larger MCU. She'll still have the same costume, and then whatever she comes back in next time as a movie, she'll get her.
I see you.
That's what I'm thinking.
The costumes always get me so excited for these movies.
Oh, me too. Especially with the Phase 4 costumes.
They look incredible. Everything we've seen so far.
So good.
Everything that's come out so far.
White Vision.
Captain America. Like, Sam's costume is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Everything. Yeah, U.S. Agent.
Okay. I wasn't a fan of the U.S. Agent at the start. Like, his costume, I mean.
Agreed.
But the final...
the black suit.
The black suit.
It's the same, but black.
Well, it looks like the detail is
that's what he says.
Oh, that's what he said.
Yeah, he's like,
I forgot. Oh my god.
It has been a solid. Jeez, that was what early summer show. Spring show.
That was spring. That was like end of spring.
Wow, half a year ago.
Loki was like summer, so that would have been spring.
Oh wow, time is flying.
Flew by, yeah.
And now we have Shang-Chi. Spider-Man's coming up soon.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we have 2 other trailers I feel like we should cover.
We do have 2 other trailers. These were released a few days ago. We talked about them in part in our episode 0, but
just for a second.
Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine for the PS5. 2 new games coming out within the next few years that I'm so excited for.
Me too. Even if you don't have a PS5 yet, like me, it's hard not to be just awestruck by what they're giving us.
It really is.
Everything PS4 Spider-Man has provided and brought to the table has been just gobstopping. And all of the suits they had and all of the details and Easter eggs.
It's incredible.
In every nook and cranny.
I'm really excited to see all of the new suits in this new game. What we're going to get. Because we're getting 2 characters, so 2 sets of suit for each for Spider-Man.
Right.
Anything you want to see that wasn't in the last games?
Well, with the end of the trailer revealing everyone's favorite gelatinous black goop from outer space, I'm thinking it's a wasted opportunity not to tease that and not give us symbiote suits.
A new symbiote suit, okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's an easy way to get the Spider-Man 3 symbiote suit, the obviously like the comics, maybe the 2015 comics symbiote suit. And they have so many options now with Miles too.
They
he's
really
had, like
do.
3 Venomized outfits in the last 2
Yeah,
years.
something like that.
It's crazy. And his new comics main story appearance, maybe even more Ben Reilly. Like,
Oh, Ben Reilly.
we can
Oh,
get the
a sensational suit.
the
Yes.
Beyond suit. Like, we're just on the cusp.
I've got my fingers crossed for the Beyond suit, but with how recent that is, although the game's 2 years away.
Right.
So
and
we don't know.
They had Spider-Verse in it.
They
I
did.
mean, it was after the game's shelf life for sure, but they
put it in, so they'll probably
Spider-Verse.
put it in later if
Right.
they don't add it in right away.
Exactly.
One that I know people have been crying out for
Yeah.
is the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit.
Yeah, me included. I have been crying out from the rooftops. My boy Andrew Garfield. We got his TASM 1
We
suit,
did,
right?
and that was
Yeah.
awesome, but
Yes.
without that Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, like that was the
Right.
most comic accurate suit, I think.
Right, yeah, even if you didn't like the movie, you can't deny that suit was just
It was spot
beautiful. It was a work of art. And yeah, I think that's an obvious one. And then
Yeah.
the new No Way Home suits.
on. The No Way Home suits would be an obvious like throw in
Right.
there.
They did. All of the other Tom Holland suits already, so
Exactly.
we did Night Monkey. So
Did they do a cosmic suit in the PS4 game? Because I would like to
don't
see that.
think
If
so.
they did it, I would love to see a cosmic suit.
there is a Cosmic Miles too in
Mhm.
Spider-Geddon.
Exactly. So we could have both of those be suit options in this
Yeah.
new game as well.
I would love that.
The voice at the beginning of the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Me, as long as a lot of other people think it's Craven.
Yeah, I feel like we've had a lot of talk about Craven in the last couple of years, like
Mhm.
out of nowhere, and
With the
it's-
new film coming out.
right. Then they announced the new film. People are
Exactly.
saying that he was going to be the next MCU Spidey villain. Obviously, that isn't. I mean, it could be, but
Yeah,
it isn't.
it's
as far
not
as we
gonna-
know, going to be
no.
correct. And yeah, I think it's a great direction. All of his stories in the comics are riveting and driving. I mean, they've always got not only plot twists, but Craven's character is, a tragedy. It's great.
Yeah. I'd love to see him in this game. I wish we saw him more in pop culture outside of just the comics.
Oh, agreed.
I know that Stan Lee, there's a Q&A on the back of a Spider-Man 3 comic that I think came
Mhm.
with DVDs of it,
Yeah.
special releases of it, where it talks about Stan wanting Craven
Yeah.
in not an MCU movie.
No, the Tobey
in
movies, yeah.
one of the Tobey movies if they continue doing them.
Yeah.
And now we're finally getting him on the big screen and hopefully getting him in this game. If Craven is in the game, throwing it out there, I want to see Chameleon.
That would be awesome. I mean, any of the villains that were in the animated series are just exceptional. I
Yeah.
think with what they did with Scorpion, Mysterio wouldn't have as much charm because they basically did what
Yeah.
I would imagine a Mysterio scene would go through.
But
they could still.
they
do
still
it.
could do Mysterio, and I think that would be a
Right.
good villain to throw in the mix.
I've got a good pick.
Who do you got?
I think it would be amazing to get like Hydro Man. Because think about it, the only water missions we had in PS4 Spidey was like reading specs on the water to clean up the water. or trying to
there
save
wasn't
fish.
much.
Right.
I agree. I think Hydro Man would be good, especially after Far From Home. We all thought it was Hydro Man in the
Right.
trailer.
Right. Lo and behold,
I would be
Mysterio.
ecstatic to have Hydro Man come as a
Right.
villain.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
in the animated series, he was great. He was stalking Mary Jane. And
Exactly. Even
went
if
to
it
fight
was
him.
just like a small mission, a single mission.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Right.
So
just
much.
like how they did like the Rhino or the Vulture. Just
Yeah. Kind of going back to Venom, doing some research, I pointed this out, and I told you about this earlier. Ultimate Spider-Man issue 35 is the first appearance of the symbiote in the
The
Ultimate
Ultimate,
comics. Or at least the Spider-Man comics, to my knowledge.
Mhm.
And it's the only time Peter wears the symbiote, but the code name for Venom in the first PS4 game was GR 35.
Yeah.
Like, just a direct nod to that, and I'm here for it.
Right. I feel like growing up, there was a lot of hate for the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. Like, there was a stigma that they
Yeah.
were for, like, a younger audience, which was really weird getting to actually read them and finding out that wasn't the case at all.
I think it's because people took a look at the art.
Right. And that was the worst thing to judge it on. Truly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't dislike the art at all.
I don't either. I think
just-
it's great. But
judging the entire comics off of it was dumb.
Yeah.
And reading those comics for the first time, I think I cried like 4 times throughout the series.
It's super valid. Holy shit!
It's such a good series, and yeah. Although Venom didn't really take my breath away, I did really enjoy his arcs as always.
Yeah, I know you're a huge fan of Venom and the symbiotes in general.
Yeah. Yeah, Ultimate Universe, they took a very different role, and I respect that, but I'm also thankful that the universe didn't last that long because we still got to get Miles anyways, and I got to get more of my home renditions of these symbiotes, and that's great.
Yeah.
So, speaking of game trailers...
Wolverine,
obviously not actual gameplay footage
right.
or anything.
We have just a quick little cutscene. We don't even know if that'll be in the final game, but like seeing that made me so happy. And there's a lot of Easter eggs in this little like 50-second trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it was just basically to announce it dramatically, which I still love. Everything in there just gave me hope that if the same people working on the trailer work on the game in any capacity, will be full of like heartfelt Easter eggs to the comics.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the obvious stuff, the license plate.
Right, the Hulk 181. Yeah. The first issue that Wolverine ever makes a full appearance in.
So cool.
As well as we have the cash register showing 1974, which is the year that Wolverine. First issue came out.
The year of Wolverine.
The year of Wolverine, exactly.
One of the details I spotted on a 4K copy of the photo, zoomed in real close on the bar, there's a string of photos. There's one of Wolverine. You can't really see him, but you can see Captain America with him.
Yes, the shield is very visible in that photo. It's top right of the screen, right?
It's top right of Wolverine's head.
Oh, it's of his head. I thought it was in the far corner.
It's kind of like, if I'm here, my back is to the camera like Wolverine, it's like right here.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
on top of that, we see a little statue. So from what we can tell, this game is going to take place in
Madripoor?
Yeah, Madripoor. My brain was totally blanking on it for a second. And they have a goddess, a protector of dragons. Davi Naka, I think is the name of her. And we've seen her with like Shang-Chi before.
Yeah. And what better time to introduce such a character into a mainstream media?
Exactly. And we'll maybe see Shang-Chi in this? I mean, he did go to Madripoor in the movie as well as...
That is true.
We also saw it in Falcon Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I
forgot about that.
They're bringing more attention to it lately, and so I think...
And Black Widow.
Yep, Black Widow. There's a lot that they could throw into this game, little nods. I think seeing some of the other X-Men or the Hulk would be really cool for this game.
For sure. I know we had this conversation off camera, but I feel like it's worth repeating. I know in the trailer it's not to the game, so we can't take too much away from it.
Right.
But they keep it to more of a Wolverine-focused scene in the Princess Bar, which is like Wolverine's bar.
That's his place. We saw that actually in Black Widow too. In the background, you can see the Princess Bar.
Train station.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it would be a waste not to have some at least side missions, even if they're flashbacks. I just want side missions with the X-Men.
I would be all here for it.
Yeah.
Like, that would be absolutely amazing to see them actually come together in a game with this kind of budget and scale.
Right.
We know it's going to be a full-size game. It's not some spin-off within these Marvel games or, well, I guess off the Spider-Man games at this point, really.
Right. And
we do know it's going to be rated M.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like the Marvel Legends line suggested at first with the Gamerverse.
Yeah.
They released PS4 Spider-Man, and then they started doing the Avengers game stuff, and then I think it was Square Enix was like,
I can't do that. No.
We're not linked. Sorry. But I'm honestly relieved. I love the Spider-Man games. I'm glad they're sticking in their own lane. This game looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
I want to see Gambit so bad.
Oh my god, that would be really fitting, I think, too. Like, if...
They just have such a fun dynamic, and it's obviously paid off. They've had, 4 separate, runs of comics together, where it's Wolverine and Gambit, or something or another.
Exactly.
I love Gambit so much. I know you do too. Cyclops would be great. Jean would be unreal. I don't think I can imagine that.
That would add such a crazy dynamic in the game itself.
Right.
Any
guesses for the antagonists?
I don't yet. I have no guess. I know. Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Hey there, Jimmy. Get the Sabretooth.
Sabretooth would be an obvious one.
Right.
We'll probably see him. I don't think as a main villain, though.
No.
I don't think we'll be seeing Magneto at all.
He'd be way too OP.
Exactly.
First game. A villain that can literally just stop you or control you.
I don't know how they'd make that work.
Silver Samurai.
Silver Samurai, that would be good.
That'd be a pretty fun one.
Yeah.
Obviously, they thought so when they did that for his solo movie.
Right.
Movie aside,
we'll move on
Silver
from
Samurai
that.
is cool.
Outside of villains that you want to see, costumes.
Yes.
Because this is a blank slate. There's not a single costume that they've done yet, unless you want to count the cowboy hat and the flannel. Anything you want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got so many great options. I definitely want to see, obviously, like the 90s animated series type vibe.
The
Black
classic.
stripes, yellow,
yeah.
big wings, blue on the gloves and boots.
Absolutely.
Beyond that, the X-Force one would be cool.
I'd be so down for X-Force, like the hand chopped off, or I guess it's his left hand.
That's Age of Apocalypse.
Or is that Age of Apocalypse exclusively?
When
Because I know
he's
that.
got
Oh no,
the
X-Force is
huge-
the black suit. Yep.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
With the red eyes. And then we have like his yellow and brown suit, obvious.
Yep. I was thinking, at some point, I would like to see his Weapon X appearance. Both like his Weapon X. I was thinking Weapon X.
From Age of Apocalypse?
Yeah,
or
that's what I was.
And I was
thinking
thinking the Marvel Legends name.
My
for his
brain got
origin.
confused.
We're great at communicating on the Hero Couch.
The X-Force suit would be good. The black and gray. I would like to see Fang, the Fang suit.
That would be sick.
I know he hates it, but as a costume option, he doesn't get a say.
No, he's just gonna put on whatever skin I select on my start screen, I swear.
One I don't think we'll see, but I would die for, is his feral appearance.
Ooh,
no nose and all.
Yeah, that would be pretty extreme. I don't know if that'd be like doing his 90s ninja suit where he just kind of has like makeup.
Yeah. I feel like it would be controversial, I think, for a lot of fans, but I don't know. With Spider-Man, they put in some pretty silly ones. I wouldn't doubt that they would
like
go
the Ghost
this route.
Spider one.
Exactly.
Like, they put in some obscure ones, so you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond those, I mean, I don't know if they'd be able to pull off the Hugh Jackman skin.
I don't think they would. There's licensing stuff with Hugh Jackman, but I think at least doing his costume from like the 2000s movie,
but
that would be pretty good.
Spider-Verse, they got the Tobey movie skins.
They did.
They got the
so
Andrew
it's not
movie
out of the
skins,
question.
Tom skins, they got everything. So you never know.
But that doesn't have a face. That's a bit
true.
harder. If they did the character model's face with the Hugh Jackman suit, they could get away with that.
That's not what.
But that's not what we want. We
true.
want Hugh Jackman's head on this fucker.
What if we got his scrapped suit from the end of the Wolverine when he opens the briefcase and has the helmet?
Oh, you're talking about like the unused yellow suit we never got. Oh my god,
That suit I thought was so fucking cool looking.
I would lose it, dude.
Yeah, me too. That would be phenomenal.
That really would be.
The last one I want is one we didn't get in Spider-Man.
Which suit?
But it's a great segue to our next topic, and that would be the Zombie Wolverine suit.
That would be really good, and that is a very great segue. We have some comic books that were our introduction, more or less, to comics as a whole, and we just kind of wanted to go over them and share them with you guys. You might already have read them, but just here's a little throwback for y'all.
Yeah, even if it's not great comics, they're great to us.
Well, I don't know. Mine's pretty fucking good.
Mine's not, but it's super fun.
You kick it off. We'll finish strong at least with this topic.
Right. To be fair, anyone who's read this series knows how fun it is because you probably read it for what it is.
Yeah.
Being less vague, it is the Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness run. I picked these up at a car show. They were having a like a flea market type thing at the end of this car show.
Really?
And just one single guy was selling comics, and it was Destiny. I picked up these. I picked up more Marvel Zombies, like Marvel Zombies 1, Marvel Zombies 2, Return. These were my favorite, though. I mean, you have Ash from the Army of Darkness,
right.
Evil Dead movies, popping into the... Yeah, it was unbeatable. We see him pop in, and from there on out, it's just constant fun. We have Dazzler as a main hero. We see Zombie Howard the Duck.
Oh my god, Zombie Howard the Duck.
Blowing away zombie
that
Marvel
killed
heroes.
me. Oh my god.
And he's still a pervert. It's great. They
Of
really
course.
knew what they were doing, writing a campy action fest. And I got those at the same time as the Bizarro World comics. So I had such a gritty, weird introduction to comic books. It stuck with me. I love campy. I love fun comics, for sure.
It's such a strange place to start. Like, I would have never expected, knowing you, this was your start to comics.
Yeah, it's really, whenever people ask me, I kind of hesitate for a second. I read that person to see if they'd react poorly. There's unfortunately a lot of gatekeeping in the comic community, but I love it. It's so fun. From their covers, how they showed the like original comic book covers except redone to add zombie-isms and then Ash.
I love it when they do that with these comics. They do it quite a bit with the Marvel Zombies comics whenever a new series comes out, and it's one of the things I look forward to most about them, funnily enough.
Right, me too.
Just the artwork as a whole. Like, I don't think there's ever been a bad-looking Marvel Zombies comic. And I don't think there's even been a bad one reading-wise that I've read, at least, from my experience.
Yeah.
They
know
because
how to have fun.
They're just fun.
Right.
They're not serious. You don't take them seriously. Right. They're gritty, but they're not serious.
Right.
And that's what I love about them.
Indeed. I mean, there are serious tones, of course, but it's just like the most recent episode of What If.
Yeah.
It's got the gritty bits. It's got the quippy bits. It's Marvel. It's what it is.
Exactly, yeah.
It's kind of a pretty basic guideline for them, but if it doesn't work, I'll be damned.
Anything else you wanted to add on that?
No.
Or just we good there?
I'm ready to hear about your first choice.
Okay. This might take a minute.
Yeah, fine by me.
So I've got Spectacular Spider-Man: The Child Within. This came out in 1991, I think, and finished in 1992. It was towards the end of the year. This continues with Craven's Last Hunt.
Yep.
Craven's Last Hunt. And it's featuring Green Goblin, which is Harry at this point, and Vermin as characters in this.
Yeah.
And
it's such an odd cast. It kind of draws you in from the concept.
It really does. It's very strange. It's a very trippy story.
Right.
When I got these comics, I got them in the weirdest way. Very different story from yours. When I was 8 years old, I went to Chicago with my grandparents and my cousin. And my cousin made a bet with me. We were having Chicago-style deep dish, and I'm 8 years old. I don't have much of a stomach. He dares me, if I can eat one slice of deep dish pizza, he'll buy comics for me. Because there's a comic book store across the street.
Okay.
I eat the whole thing, and I was feeling bloated by the end because it was like huge.
Yeah.
It was like this big and like this tall. It's huge. I couldn't like. It's over. I felt like I don't know if you've ever seen the the Yoshi SNES, or was it the SNES or NES game? The trailer for the Yoshi game that Nintendo did, where the guy's just eating and eating and he explodes all over in a gluttonous mess. It's so... I can't watch it. I get sick whenever I watch it. But I felt like that. I felt like I was just inflating.
Right.
Full of pizza. It was insane. But...
Obviously, it was worth it.
It was worth it. I got my very first comics, being this run of Spectacular Spider-Man, issues 178 to 184. It's 6 parts in an aftermath, but it covers a lot of topics that, as a kid, flew straight over my head.
Yeah.
From, like... Of course, there's a bunch of grief that Spider-Man feels.
Right. It's kind of
the death of Craven, his parents. It's always followed him around, and this goes into this more. I don't even know where to begin with this. Vermin escapes from a hospital he's being treated at, finds a kid who's not afraid of him, and goes back to his parents' house and tries to kill his parents.
Right.
Spidey tries stopping him while the doctor...
Huh? It pulls a little Inception game on you.
It kind of does. It really does. Spider-Man goes after Vermin, of course, and the doctor, I think Kafka is her name, who's trying to treat Vermin, she thinks that she can save him. Spider-Man doesn't. He has doubts. He doesn't think that his mind is capable of being saved. He thinks it's too far gone, and there's this internal debate, not just with Spider-Man if she can save him, but within the Doctor herself. And it's a struggle that I haven't really seen in a comic since. Not at the same, like, down-to-earth level that it is.
Right.
We see stuff like that all the time, but it's in a very different place, and I haven't gotten that since. As well as, we discover some pretty depressing stuff in this. Vermin was sexually abused as a child, and it brings awareness to that, and...
It's not a topic Marvel touches on.
No, it's not, and it makes you really feel for him, because he's not a bad guy, he's got a lot of mental issues, and they're just trying to help him.
Yeah, and I can imagine that's what was so impactful.
Yeah.
Starting off Spider-Verse, started with the Edge of Spider-Verse comics, and they had the multiverse where, I don't even think his name was Peter, but it might have been. The Peter of that universe, he is abused by his uncle. It's just it's such a dark comic, but it stays dark. That thing was horrifying.
It doesn't get better from there. Harry, this is after Harry's, like, rejected the Goblin for a while. He's no longer the Green Goblin, but this is the moment that marks him putting that suit back on. His son Normie has been born, so his son's around, I believe. His wife finds him putting on the suit, and it kind of ruins them for a decent while, and it's all because Norman was going like a hard ass on his son, telling him, don't raise your son to be a weakling, it's just really abusive, and you can see Harry going through his own trauma and issues as well. It focuses a lot on this, like, family abuse, and it's a hard series to read.
They dive into it on, like, the main characters too.
They do,
and
all
they
over.
Use Vermin kind of as a
mirror
to get there.
Yeah, it very much so mirrors a lot of the other characters, little aspects that we see, and I'm not going to spoil anything else. There's some twists in there that I think are absolutely amazing, but I think it's one that you have to read for yourself to, like, look into any more than we've already talked about.
I think it's funny that if someone met us and we first, like, off the bat talked about our favorite comics, they'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with these two? Like, this one's
I know, right?
And this one's about all of the heroes of the universe being dead and eating people. And, but they're so polar opposites. I mean, there's actual storytelling in yours.
And the one that looks more campy is the more serious one. And the one that looks way too serious is the one that's a little more campy. They're total, like, opposites of each other. Although, without these comics, I don't think Spider-Man would be as big as he is in my life today. Like, this...
Interesting, yeah.
This was a big moment for me with Spider-Man as a kid, and it's what kind of got me cosplaying Spider-Man, to be honest.
Fair enough. I mean, he has... Obviously, a lot of people know him as the, like, everyman hero. He's the most grounded of the Marvel characters, the easiest for anyone to latch onto, but personally, for both of us, he represents overcoming a lot of hardships on an issue-ly basis, honestly, and some of those get real grim and gritty, and that is really uplifting for a couple of nerds.
It really is.
Go through shit.
Because having a hero that goes through the same problems and issues you have,
Right.
it lets you relate to that person on another level, even if
Yeah.
they are completely fictional.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man is the reason I started going to the gym at the first place. Like, I started eating healthy and going to the gym because of Spider-Man. Yeah. And
Yeah.
He's obviously been an emotional staple for so long. He's the hero who's lost the most.
He really is.
And he's always the happiest hero still. Which is why I thought the What If episode was brilliant again. Because they really showed that.
And I think this might be a good segue. We can talk about the new What If episode that came out earlier last week.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was incredible. I think this
Yeah.
probably was... this was my favorite What If episode.
Yeah, without my Marvel Zombies bias, that aside, it was still my favorite episode, easily.
Really?
I shouldn't say easily. All
Doctor
of them have
Strange.
been really good. Right, and I know we have the Killmonger one next. We had the Doctor Strange one, the Yellow Jacket one with Hank going haywire.
Hank wearing that yellow jacket suit.
Where they did...
Oh my god.
I could go on for hours about their recreating and editing the scenes straight out of The Incredible Hulk and turning it into Mark Ruffalo.
Oh my god,
even the hair.
Seeing Mark in that setting that we haven't seen since 2008 with characters we haven't seen in a lifetime.
We never got to see our pride, joy, and baby boy Mark Ruffalo do those things until then. Anyways, that episode was great too.
It was a nice connection between that original
movie.
2008 film.
It's the first kind of acknowledgement we've had of it until Shang-Chi.
Unless you want to count Ross.
That's true. That's true.
He's stayed consistent for a good long time.
Yeah. But yeah, the zombies episode, from heads to tails, beginning to end, was just gripping. I was on the edge of my seat even when they were doing... I've heard a lot of talk online about how it was too quippy, which I don't really understand because it seems that argument only applies to the naturally and already established quippy characters.
Exactly.
Which is odd, but yeah, I mean, they took the characters that they set up in the MCU and wrote a zombie story about it that was exceptional for those characters. I mean, every one of those characters was a great reflection of how they've been.
Who was your favorite character from that episode? You have to have a favorite, and I think I know who it is. I'm taking a guess here, and I'm not going to say it, but...
Honestly, I think my favorite character in the episode was probably... Oh, that's a really hard one. They were all so good.
It's in the air between two, I think, for you.
I know which ones you... I think you're right. But honestly, I gotta go story-wise, how gripping their story was. I think the Vision was short-lived, but phenomenal.
That was my second guess. My number one was Scott. Yep. I thought Scott was going to be your favorite.
Yeah, Scott's great. But as for the story of the episode, he was kind of just the comic relief, which he always is. No complaints there. It's just the episode was so meant for all of the other characters. It was phenomenal. I mean, Peter was exceptional. He would be my natural first pick, but they didn't do too much. But we did finally get the first MCU mention of Uncle Ben.
We did! That was weird that it was in a What If episode. I didn't realize that until someone had mentioned it, I think on Instagram. I didn't process it at all. Because my brain was like, oh, the briefcase. They said it was Uncle Ben's, right? But they never mentioned it in the... They never mentioned it in Far From Home.
And, I mean, we've only had the words that What If will be canon to the MCU.
Right. We haven't seen it yet, but we're crossing our fingers. Either this new Spider-Man movie or Multiverse of Madness is my guess.
I have a feeling that it'll definitely be No Way Home. And I also think that's a great segue. I think it's something we need to talk about.
We do.
We came together through the love of Spider-Man.
We really did.
Branched out.
With a new movie coming out, we have to talk about it.
We've had so much leaked content, and on top of the content we already have, there's a lot of speculation. The leaked content isn't confirmed, so always take that with a grain of salt. But we've gotten 4K quality leaked content.
We have.
And videos.
seeing Andrew in that suit again, and I believe it's Toby that they're saying is the other character in that scene, but it's hard to make out with the photos I've seen. Seeing them back,
and we saw Toby with his outer face shell off, so we
right,
see him
we
with
do
that
see that.
new
Yeah,
thing
that's
we've
right. You did
never
show me
seen him
that.
wear before.
Seeing them in their original suits, I think I nut a little bit when I saw that, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I've never. It was a flash flood warning in my city, and it wasn't raining.
Oh my god! Honestly, though, me too.
Yeah, that the trailer, all of the leaked content, it's been phenomenal. We have 3 suits on Tom Holland, or 4 if you count his normal suit.
Right, if you count that red and black suit.
I was talking about the suit and tie.
Oh, the suit and tie. Oh.
Yeah, we've got the red and black, which you're right on the belt. I really hope they make some sort of reasoning as to why the belt's
It
gone.
makes no sense for the belt to be gone. It was there when it started, and it looks like the movie's gonna pick up from the end of Far From Home. So why the belt would be missing is beyond me. Maybe it falls off somehow, but right now, I can't get over the belt.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird to me.
It's just an odd inconsistency.
It's a weird
really
decision.
Hope they have a plug for it, but then from there, that red suit with the addition.
We have the black and gold
That's
suit
true.
too
That's
in between.
Inside Out suit.
Right.
Right. That one looks phenomenal.
Now I'm wondering if it's inside out or if it's torn off.
Right, and that's really hard to tell. I mean, the only scene we've actually seen it in
He's
is
running
through the cafeteria at Feast.
Although we noticed no red gloves like a lot of the action figures and promo art
Even
showed,
the hot
so I don't know.
toys. So
I don't know what they're doing. If the gloves will be there at first and then they chain, like
you never know.
It's a bit odd, but whatever. We'll see it happen at some point.
Might be that suit might be the box he was holding in the other point in the trailer when Doctor Strange pushes him out of his body.
Maybe
It might be because of that suit or because of that
because
box.
of the box. Yeah,
The box might have something to do with the gloves,
right?
Because he had it around his hand in that one scene. So
that is true.
And then he gets the gold gauntlet at some point too,
right?
Which also might be the box. And then we have the red.
I mean, the magical box might explain all of the magic Spider-Man will be wielding in this movie. I think
your original theory.
My original theory is that Doctor Strange is the one who imbues Peter with these magical powers. Yeah. Whether it's the suit itself or Peter, I don't know. But I think it's a magically infused suit.
Yeah, and we also had the conversation about the Mysterio tech.
That too. The Mysterio tech could also be used to create magic illusions.
Right. But I think that one's less likely now that we saw how much Doctor Strange is involved.
Right.
And we know he's getting persecuted, and one of the major arguments they're using is the drones.
Right. So using the drones would be risky, but using the drones as this magic tech almost. Because it looks, he says, even on the shirt that we see leaked, it's like magic plus tech. So part of me thinks that, the drones are going to be part of this magical, suit that Peter's going to be wearing.
That's true,
and I'm crossing my fingers for that a little bit.
Peter is a genius. He made his web shooters.
He is.
You never know.
Yeah, he can do anything.
It's hard to tell with this MCU Peter.
Even if it is just pure magic, I am all here for it.
Same.
Because we know how much of a nerd Peter Parker is. If he got the chance to learn magic, he would take it in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
And, the comics and the movies don't have to line up.
Right.
They can experiment. So for a magical Spider-Man, even just for this one movie, I'd be losing my shit.
That's one of my favorite things about this whole scenario with this movie. Everything we know or want to know or think we know is just so... It feels like it could be its own comic book.
It really does.
That makes me so happy. I mean, we started out the MCU so grounded. And then we went big boss Thanos at the end of the 10 years, which was great. But it was still pretty grounded, you know?
I feel like our phrase, because comics, is going to change to because MCU.
Right, we can't come after Comic Drake yet. We'll do because MCU.
Exactly.
I'll get a cup of coffee. But yeah, I love the black, red, and gold suit, the integrated suit.
Oh my god, dude. I I want it so badly.
Yeah, it's what I wished originally we had gotten with the Iron Spider suit, except with the black from like the Ditko-esque suit.
That's understandable. I don't
Just
know.
the
I
perfect
like
mix.
the MCU Iron Spider suit
Fair,
a lot.
fair.
I think taking it in a new direction, like outside of the comics and outside of something we've seen before, having this new design.
It was almost Ben
It's really
Reilly-esque
nice.
in its original design.
Really? I mean, I see that with the
big
spider. The
spider.
spider on the chest, it is
Right.
very sensational.
And then the V with the blue, and then the
Yeah.
right here it copied the bare bones base.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah, and everything, all of these suits, the villains, knowing that we have Willem Dafoe in his green scale suit with the purple metallic hoodie.
Right. Getting
Oh.
Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'm excited to see what this new costume is going to look like on screen. I remember you pointed out to me that in a shot of the trailer, we can see a photo of someone wearing a
Yeah.
jacket that looks suspiciously like the one we've seen
I'm hoping
Jamie
it's-
Foxx wear
right,
in
the leaked photos.
leaked photos.
I'm hoping it's not a boner situation.
Oh my god. Don't
Mr.
be a
Ralph
boner
Boner.
situation. I don't need another boner.
Yeah, that would suck. See, boners are good and fun when it's consensual. I did not consent to a boner for my Sony Quicksilver.
Yeah,
Fox
it was a
Quicksilver.
very uncomfortable boner, but at the same time,
It
I
was
thought
fun.
it was funny.
It
but
was fun.
like, I
And my heart
really wish
can't
it would have
take
just
that.
been Quicksilver.
Right. My heart can't take that again.
No.
I know not to get my hopes up for a lot of the stuff, but when you're teasing stuff like all of the yellow lightning in that trailer, the shadow that could be Venom or the Lizard,
Yep.
the obviously Willem Dafoe talking and his pumpkin bomb. Doc Ock.
Doc Ock. Now that's one I'm
Phenomenal.
excited for. That costume that we see him wear, same thing that he wore in Spider-Man 2.
Except just tweaked.
Just tweaked a
to
little
be
bit.
Perfect.
It's so good, and I think my speculation with it is when he says "Hello, Peter" on the bridge, and we've talked about this before. Even though it cuts to Tom Holland, that's Toby right there. That's Toby standing in front of him.
Right.
It
'cause,
has to be.
The bridge that it shows Tom on is the bridge that's getting blown up by pumpkin bombs.
Right.
So,
Unless the two are there at the same time.
right. Which could be a possibility, but I don't think so. Peter wasn't looking around.
No, he was looking
wasn't
straight
already
on, gets
suited up.
ready in the pose, like he's
Right.
set. That's to Tobey Maguire.
And I think the clouds covering, showing the gold lightning coming out of it, I think the clouds are edited. I think we'll actually see Electro in those
Shooting
scenes
down.
just going
Okay.
ham. I think the clouds just cover that.
I'd be here for that.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that the sand in that scene is Sandman.
Yeah, I still think those are trees. So unless one of our commenters can prove that wrong, I'm sticking with Tree Man.
I swear it's true, guys. I swear to God.
Groot turns into a bad guy. The oddest Spider-Man movie of all time. They weren't lying. We will be really surprised.
We will be.
Evil Groot. Spider-Man 3.
Oh, I think I'd cry. That would be so funny.
He can't get home. It's blocked in by trees. Awful.
That's the entire plot right there. Guys, that's it. We've leaked the plot of not Amazing Spider-Man. That's Amazing Spider-Man's 3 plot now. You realize that, right?
That's why it got canceled.
That's why it got canceled. The entire plot revolved around trees.
Oh, horrendous.
Deforestation's what canceled the film.
That's fair. I'll root for that cause. But
no.
Andrew's still my favorite. Just had to put that out there.
Absolutely. What I'm really excited for is to see Doctor Strange versus Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That train scene looks intense, and I feel like that's got to be some sort of versus there.
Yeah, I think so too. It doesn't show anyone else in the scene.
Right.
Doctor Strange has the upper hand. Spider-Man is just himself and him.
Yeah.
And he squats ready for action when that train goes, and I don't think he was just bracing. I
The-
think he was ready.
He was ready to fight.
Right.
It's just the way that they're thrown throughout, like, these warping cities that we've seen in Doctor Strange before.
Yeah.
I think the two are going mano a mano, head to head. Like, this is going to be an epic showdown.
It could be just
thrown from one place to another.
Doctor Strange trying to prove Spidey's resolve or something, but
maybe, or it could be to stop Peter from doing something stupid.
Right.
Which, let's be real here, that happens a lot.
It does, and it happens a lot in this subject matter, breaking the timeline too.
I think that's the big one. That's the big no-no, is breaking the timeline.
And we got all three of the Disney properties, not Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I mean, we got Wanda opening the Darkhold and starting to hint that maybe the timeline's breaking. Then Loki fucking smashing through it. And then Doctor Strange is just like, I'll help you break the timeline. Like, oh,
wink.
Fuck. Right.
Wong's gonna be so pissed.
If Doctor Strange is actually trying to help.
If it's Doctor Strange. There's been a lot of rumors that it's not Doctor Strange. Whether some people think that it's gonna be the, what if Doctor Strange.
I would love that.
Others think it's Mephisto.
Right.
I think it's somewhere in between.
I definitely think it would be really fun to do a story arc like those. It's been really exhausting hearing all of the Mephisto theories because, I mean, I was part of the original Mephisto train on Loki.
Yeah.
Or not Loki, WandaVision.
Right.
Because they had the stork. We had a mysterious narrator. There was a stork that walked in. Poof, red smoke. And it was the kids. I thought for sure that was, obviously Mephisto.
Right.
Then obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Then people saw the satanic stained glass in Loki and they're like, Mephisto!
That's what I thought it was right away. And I feel like that's what they're hinting at. Now with the No Way Home trailer, we see, the devil picket sign with it drawn on Tom's face. I have this really out there theory. And I think I've told you, but it sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud.
Great thing to say out loud.
But the What If episode of Doctor Strange, we see him absorbing all of these different creatures.
Oh yeah.
And monsters. And this
is a great thing to say out loud, actually.
There's a point where he turns into this demon face for a minute. And then, of course, the giant demon, we see him at the very end, more or less.
The hulkish.
The hulking monster with eyes all over and just death and despair.
Right.
I think, and this is way out there and would be setting up a lot, but I think that this Doctor Strange is what becomes, this Doctor Strange becomes Mephisto. I don't think there is a Mephisto yet. I think this is Mephisto.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And then he's not some, god of the underworld. Your wish will be granted, but at a cost. No,
we don't want the costs. We don't want to relive.
No, he's granting Peter's wish. There's a cost. Everything gets messed up. And I think he caused it intentionally. And
that'd be a really fun play.
I think that this Doctor Strange that we saw in What If is going to be Mephisto.
Yeah, I think that would be exceptional. It'd be such a waste not to bring such a riveting and cool take on the character. Using the same actors into their live action. I would love to see him. It
would be purely deception, and then if they decided to continue with Mephisto, well then we would have Doctor Strange versus Mephisto in a way again.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see them duke it out again. They're the same person, and it was still such a riveting battle.
Oh my god, yeah.
Knowing how far they can take the depravity of this evil Strange, being locked in his own doomed dimension of just a bubble of him, it's exciting. I hope they don't throw it away.
I hope so too. The way that they depicted the magic, too. Yeah. I know you pointed it out initially, just the art style being that very vintage. I think it's Kirby's art style, right? Jack Kirby's crackle of the little bubbles. Oh my god, I loved it. But that meshing with the MCU style of
it was so, it made my heart cry happy tears. And I want more of it.
I do too.
I know it probably won't happen in live action unless we get someone super out there.
I don't know, it could.
We get Galactus.
An MCU Galactus would be awesome. Seeing that as the Fantastic Four coming to the MCU in a couple of, years?
Yeah.
I don't know when the release schedule slate was for that, if they have even announced it.
If they did, it was around 2023.
Yeah. It's later
25.
on. Yeah.
Because I think Blade is 2024.
So probably 2025, maybe 2024 as well. 2023 seems so soon. We would have had a trailer by now. Or maybe not a trailer, but something more.
Teaser.
We would have had a cast list at least.
It's what Marvel does. They do trailer videos for even their new comic arcs.
Exactly. Which I've actually been really liking those.
Yeah.
It's been getting me way more interested into all these new comic lines coming out right now, and I'm really excited for a lot.
I think...
Especially Spider-Man Beyond.
Yes. Spider-Man Beyond, obviously, we're both nuts for Ben Reilly.
Yeah.
They just released the pictures of the new Legends today. I collect Marvel Legends.
And we got a couple things back here.
Oh, it looks so good. Super puzzle too. And then we have Beyond coming out. We've got...
Real fast, before we even move from Beyond, I went ahead and watched that trailer again today. And something I noticed about the suit that Ben is wearing is that on the back of his gloves, there's a blue square similar to the symbiote suit. How it has the square on the back of the hand. He's got that now on his main suit.
So it could be like PS4 Spidey, where he has just the padding.
Yeah, it could just be padding.
It could also be something.
Because I don't think he's wearing a web shooter in that scene. Imagine if he shoots his web from the top, like the symbiote suit.
I would love that. I mean, we did talk about in our episode 0, we referenced a Ben Reilly new symbiote suit.
Right.
I looked into it deeper after the episode. I haven't found any confirmation on it.
Still no clue, huh?
That gives me hope.
That does give me a lot of hope.
But I do miss Ben Reilly's
want his
chunky web shooters.
I do too. I liked them so much, as well as the belt on his Scarlet Spider costume. That kills me every time.
Yeah.
He's had some of my favorite costumes.
Me too. There were so many conversations they had about the impact web shooters and how they're different. It just made me feel it gave something to individualize him from Peter.
Right.
A little bit more, but yeah, I mean, we've got so much content coming out in the next 4 years.
It's incredible, and I don't know which 3 movies it was, but 3 more movies got their release date announced.
Right.
And
I'm so
yeah. Just the movies in general, it's exciting.
Yeah, we're right on the cusp of everything exciting. I mean, obviously, we have so much cool, exciting stuff coming already this soon. But
we've got
Spider-Verse 2.
Spider-Verse 2 is coming out pretty soon. Really soon coming to us is Eternals and the new Venom.
Yes, the new Venom. Wow. Every shot, I was so worried about how Carnage was going to turn out, and every shot they had him in just made me so...
It's a red one!
I would shit myself too, Venom.
I mean, yeah.
When he in that church,
I'd be out of there.
The Batmaning he did at the top of the church.
Oh my god!
I don't blame him for ducking down, but... When he violates the cop, that sold me that they're gonna at least try and make the rating work.
It was so dark, such a dark moment.
Yeah,
it was so dark. It caught me off guard,
like a baby girl.
The rest of what I've seen, we see a lot of humor in it still.
Yeah.
Eddie Brock has always been a really humorous character.
He felt almost more like comic relief, but not to overdone extent.
It feels like the comedy is going to be on par with what we got with the first film,
right?
If not better, and I'm really excited for that.
And I've always made that argument after the first one came out. People complained that it was too campy and fun, and it's like if you think that you've never read Lethal Protector or any crossover with Venom at all.
You haven't even played any video games with him, like the PS1 game when he's trying to guess.
Galactus.
Exactly.
I love it.
He kills me every time.
I mean, they introduced Carnage because they didn't want to turn Venom into that dark monster.
No, they wanted a more serious symbiote, and so Carnage was their answer.
And I love that. I love their dynamic.
He's become a staple ever since.
Yeah, this movie, besides its star-studded cast, the trailer, all of the cast saying how great it's going to be, I just know. From the visual effects alone, I'd be sold. Like, how Carnage looks, I wish he had black teeth, but
Very
I'm still
valid.
very satisfied with the design they did.
It's very valid. I think the black teeth would have just looked... it would have been on screen a little too hard to see.
Agreed.
It would have blended in and just looked like an open mouth the entire time.
Because in the comics, he's got that glowing orange-red mouth all the time.
Exactly. So it makes sense why they didn't do that, but
Yeah.
even so, their designs look amazing.
Still here for it, right? Yeah, I mean, we are just on the cusp of the Craven movie to the Morbius movie.
Right.
They're announcing another Spider project. We don't know what it is, though.
Oh, nothing. I didn't even know about this.
I think it's from Sony, too. I think that's why it's super under wraps. I've
that
heard
would make sense.
whispers from all of the various news sources.
Silk?
There's a lot of theories that it's going to be Silk.
I would have some hopes for Silk. I would love
I think
to see...
that would be a great way to do it for Sony. To
Yeah.
have them focus on a different Spider that we don't
Yeah.
get a lot. I mean,
Now, the hard thing with Silk, though, unless you create it as like a detached film, is we have her in the MCU, technically.
indeed. And that's the only thing that is so frustrating about the Sony Marvel deal. Not the only thing. There's
Yeah.
definitely a lot frustrating there, but we have a lot of characters in each universe that are really riveting. And we know that Spider-Man has the ability to cross over, but we don't know how much is actually shared.
Right.
We see...
And that makes it really hard to do
Right.
collaborations.
And we see MCU's Vulture talking to Morbius in the trailer for Morbius. So
Yeah.
it's like, we really don't know if they're going to keep the Cindy Moon that was in Homecoming.
Or if it'll just be a new one,
Right.
and they'll just retcon that or something.
Or just keep going because they're like, we're Sony, not Marvel.
Yeah,
We can do what
this
we
is
want.
this is an unconnected movie to any other universe. But then that wouldn't make sense because
Tom's the
Why-
only one that has the power to cross over.
but it just
That's
doesn't
what they
make
say.
sense if it is a separated movie from the rest of the universes. Because if it
Right.
doesn't fit in the Sony universe,
I think it would still fit into the Sony universe.
like,
I think they just wouldn't. I don't think they're going to carry over the actors from Homecoming.
but they're already showing that the Sony universe is intertwined with the MCU.
right.
But then separating that out again, because if they do a new actor,
Interludes.
well,
It
then that's a
muddies the
third, like that's a third universe then
Right.
between two
yeah.
companies, and it's gonna hurt my head. It's gonna hurt my
Right.
head if that's what happens. But
We don't even know.
we don't even know. This is all speculation
Right.
at this point. Our brains are just overacting.
Who knows? It could be a Spider Hulk movie. I would love it. I'll be fair.
I love it whenever Spider-Man and Hulk cross over. There's in the Ultimate Universe, they've got like the team up comics, and the second issue is an amazing issue with Spider-Man and Hulk, and
Right.
I don't even want to say anything on that. Like that's one you just kind of have to read.
Yeah.
But if you're getting issue 2, at least pick up issue 1 too,
Right.
because Wolverine's that first issue, and that
I
one's
promise
a total
you-
blast.
Don't make the same mistake I did. Do not sleep on the Ultimate
No,
Universe.
yeah,
It
the-
has its redeeming factors.
It's
as much
really
as it has
incredible.
its, right, negatives.
Yeah, people sleep on it a lot.
Agreed.
It's sad.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts? I don't think we've had any new Star Wars news. There's one
There
more.
is some stuff.
This guy right here.
Beetlejuice coming back to Broadway.
Did you hear that
2022.
sound?
That beautiful sound.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
I was just looking into booking my tickets in, what was it, February, right before March. And
Me
then-
too.
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a sad moment.
Yeah, and now, although the cast is most likely entirely changing, we can only hope for the best.
It's exciting to see.
Yeah, but I'm so excited to see it again.
Yeah.
Or I should see it for the first time.
Right.
Just have the opportunity to see it again is great.
Exactly. I'm
And a
excited
trip to
for
New
it
York.
too. Exactly. I'm thinking road trip maybe.
Maybe.
Special episode.
Maybe. Maybe. That'd be a lot of driving.
It would be. We could take my car.
It's fair. It's fair. Also, I'd probably have a new car by then.
Oh, valid.
The Batmobile.
The Batmobile, yes. It'll be the 89 Batman. Perfect replica, actually.
Yeah.
We're going to have it exact, and we'll have that ready next week, actually, for the podcast.
Yeah.
Not at all. I wish.
It's made out of a golf cart engine. It's the most we could afford.
It's a couch on wheels, actually.
We just have like one wheel that we both.
Yeah, we've each got one side of it.
Try and coordinate it.
I've got the gas, you've got the brakes. You've got the emergency brake as well. No, you've got the actual like gear shifter. I've got the emergency brake. And then we each individually have left and right turn hand signals, but they're swapped.
We would die faster than Ben Reilly in any given Spider-Man movie.
Oh no! Oh.
We would die faster than any main character in a Ghost Rider comic. Wow.
We'd crash into a farmer's market and hear some guy scream, "My cabbages!"
Oh, that's amazing. We would single-handedly foil the plot for The Amazing Spider-Man 3.
We would.
Destroy the trees.
Oh my god.
A phenomenal.
A way that wrapped back around.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think that's a great way to clinch off this episode and say a comfy farewell to our viewers.
I think so.
Yeah.
Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us and watching us talk about the most nerdy things in the world. And feel free to join us next time on The Hero Couch. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you liked that episode, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Soundcloud. Make sure to drop a like below as well if you enjoyed the episode, and we'll be seeing you guys real soon.